When I joined the business, I inherited a significant Salesforce project that had actually run out of budget, but we still had quite a way for the business to really start seeing a benefit from what had been implemented. And this was certainly true for our MuleSoft setup and configuration. So as a result, after many conversations with Salesforce, they offered some help in the form of a health check. And this is when they put me in contact with MakeSense. Hi, my name's Andrew O'Shea. I'm the General Manager Technology and Transformation at Comcater. What does that mean? Well, basically, I look after the technology for the business. And along the way, we do a little bit of transformation as well to make sure that people get the best value they can out of the technology that we're providing them. Now, when I joined the business, I inherited a significant Salesforce project that had actually run out of budget, but we still had quite a way for the business to really start seeing a benefit from what had been implemented. Now, a key aspect for me with any large project is making sure that there is documentation to support not only the people using the tools, but the people supporting the tools. This comes from a fairly long history in change management and training. So you can understand when I ask documentation that I'm actually looking for something that I can relate to. Unfortunately, we did not have a great deal for this particular project, which made it hard to know what we had, how it was configured, and what we needed to do should we require support on different areas. And this was certainly true for our MuleSoft setup and configuration. Now, if we had a MuleSoft specialist, I'm sure they'd be able to tell me anything I needed to know about the environment. But unfortunately, I didn't have one of these people on my team, and it made things tough. So as a result, after many conversations with Salesforce, they offered some help in the form of a health check. And this is when they put me in contact with MakeSense. Now, I'm not going to go into any detail from a technical point of view on what it is that MakeSense actually did in relation to doing the health check. But what I can tell you is I now have a better understanding of what it is in our environment that we've got, all the integrations that we've got, and the potential weaknesses that we may have across each of these. It's also important that we are currently in the process of replacing our ERP. So understanding what our current integrations between Salesforce and our old ERP are makes it a lot easier for us to understand what it is that we need to do with the new ERP. So it's actually been quite valuable having the health check done, getting the documentation, what all the endpoints look like, and the fact that we actually have some capacity in our MuleSoft licensing that should we need to do other integrations with our new ERP, that we actually have the capacity to do that. We had no visibility of this previously, so having the health check just uncover some of these key aspects, particularly for me putting forward a proposal for a significant project, made things a lot easier. Now, as I've just discussed, it makes planning a lot easier when you've got clear documentation and you've got a clear picture of what it is that you have. So knowing we have capacity in our MuleSoft for other integrations, that the ERP project can move forward, but it also meant that any partner that we bring on to help us with our integrations with the ERP project can give us a fairly accurate costing for the project. Now, I'm not going to say this is going to happen for everybody, but in our particular situation, we have a fixed price for the integrations for our ERP project. Now, that not only provides a sense of relief for our board and our exec, but it also gives me a great deal of comfort knowing that with the documentation and with the support that we've had, we now know what it is that we've got and how we can actually move forward. And there's not going to be any surprises down the track. Now, I know for us as humans, we have a fairly good idea when we think we're healthy and when we know we're not healthy. And more often than not, if we're really unhealthy, we will go and seek professional advice. Now, being me, being male, being whatever labels you want to put on it, we have a tendency not to go and see somebody when we're feeling a little bit off. But it's more often than not that that's when we need to seek the professional help of somebody and get a health check. So my advice to any of you out there, unless you are absolutely certain about what you've got, get a health check. The worst case scenario is they tell you that you have everything that you already thought you have and that it's running like an absolute dream. Without a health check, you are open and vulnerable to all sorts of things happening. And worst of all, not knowing where it is to go and look for the problems. We've had enough stuff in our environment recently. If you look at the recent outages globally, where people thought it was Microsoft and it ended up being a lovely cyber tool that people are using, anything can happen. If we're not sure of what it is and how it's set up, how do you manage when things go wrong? My advice to you, get a health check if you're not sure about what it is that you've got in your environment. And I can highly recommend the team at MakeSense to do this for you.